Hello and welcome back to another edition of the MCR. My name is Matt. To my right is TJ. We are on. We'd like to thank all of our subscribers, and we have about 1,380 on our 4 platforms. Help us grow. We really need help on YouTube. We need views on Rumble. We get told, "Oh, you got to go to Rumble. You got to go to Rumble," but people aren't watching there. So help us out on Rumble if you can. So I'm going to talk about something, and this is going to be a kind of off-the-cuff thing. And then if you've watched this channel for the last 3 years, you know that that's a lot of what I do. But I watched Bill Maher on Ben Shapiro up to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. A couple reasons being Ben Shapiro's Neville Chamberlain-like attitude, where had it been anyone else, Shapiro would have been all over him like white on rice, but he was letting Maher say things and get away with things. And I'll admit right away, I didn't watch the whole interview, but I stopped at one point. And they're talking about how there's so much cancel culture, and it's on the right, and we don't disagree with that. But Maher is basically saying the left has lost its mind, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we agree with that. And he made some very good points at times. But then he goes, the right's just as bad. The fact that they won't acknowledge January 6th as an insurrection, and that these people wanted to get into the Capitol to stop valid votes from being counted in a fair election. Well, talk about a straw man argument. I don't think it was a fair election. I don't think count all the votes, even if they're illegal, is a good thing. Any kind of election, just a question now makes you a terrorist. So, and who knows if YouTube is even going to let us do this video. If they don't, well, you'll see it on
If I may interject.
Please.
I, too, watched a very small portion of that same video. It was at that point I had to shut it off because I couldn't. I was so disappointed that Ben Shapiro, and here's the thing, neither of us watched the whole thing, so who's to say later on or toward the end of the video Ben Shapiro didn't call him out. But I just thought, you're letting him say this with no pushback whatsoever, and I was like, no.
And here's my problem with that. If he did that with everybody, I wouldn't say that. But Shapiro's like a tiger on people.
Oh yeah,
he talks fast, he thinks fast, he's very intelligent. But I think what we had going on there, and he alluded to it, that he had been on whatever Maher show is called, Real Time or whatever.
Yes, Real Time with Bill Maher, I think.
And so it was kind of a I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
And Bill Maher did let Ben Shapiro be Ben Shapiro on his show.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost worth watching. So
yeah, so that's why that's the motivation, I believe, for Ben Shapiro to give him a pass on these things. But the question is why all of a sudden is Bill Maher cozying up to the likes of Ben Shapiro? Bill Maher has people on his show that he thinks he can shred and beat up. Well, you're not doing that to Ben Shapiro. He's at least, on his worst day, it's going to be a draw. So why is he doing that? And another person that's about doing a similar thing is Tulsi Gabbard, who really went after Mitt Romney so much that she got under Mitt's skin, or as we call him here in Michigan, Willard, which is his real name. But she got under Mitt's skin.
Pure delecto.
Yeah, another AKA for him. But she got under his skin in saying that he should resign because he knew about these biolabs in the Ukraine. And that's a topic I'm not on top of. I don't know if you are, but I'm still sorting that out. But she really went after him, and he said that she was a traitor to this country. She served honorably in the military, so which I don't believe he did. So he might want to.
I'll confess, I don't know the finer points of was the lab producing biological weapons, or was the lab simply doing a biohazard type of research,
like Wuhan.
But him him calling Tulsi Gabbard, you said, a traitor.
Yeah, treasonous comments. Again,
the pot calling the kettle black.
This is the high roaders. What they do as well. You're a traitor, and you know what? They want to take it farther than saying you're a traitor. They've sicked the FBI on the likes of us, and now probably Tulsi Gabbard. So why are they cozying up to the right all of a sudden? Is it because they know there is a defecation storm of epic proportion coming their way, and they want to be on the right side of history? Or
yeah, going back to Bill Maher, I almost said Bill Maher. Going back to Bill Maher, I don't get it because, and I'll tell you why I don't get it, because when you go back years, and for me it's I'm able to go back to the mean and vicious things he said about Sarah Palin, and I cannot believe Bill Maher has seen the light. So yeah, I'm wondering, you can be so vicious with the likes of Sarah Palin, and then for whatever reason be compelled to cozy up to Ben Shapiro.
Who will rip you a new one?
I don't get it.
Another guy I admire is Dave Rubin. I love his show. I read his book, Please Don't Burn This Book, and he's got reason for saying please don't burn this book. But he describes Maher, and I think he's a little enamored with Maher because he's looking for company. He says Maher is a classical liberal. He's for free speech. But is he? Is he for free speech? If he was for free speech, he wouldn't have a problem with people protesting on January 6th.
If I were to look for the X factor in somehow explaining Bill Maher, Jordan Peterson at least one time was on his show also.
Yeah.
Is it possible? I'm just throwing it out there. Is it possible Jordan Peterson said something which got Bill Maher thinking? Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, he's saying,
I'm just looking. I'm just trying to find a reason.
He's using a Reagan line commonly now that he didn't leave the Democratic Party; they left him. And I suppose there's truth in that. If you're not insane, you're not on the left.
That's right. But maybe Bill Maher has had his fill of the COVID restrictions. I do believe there's a whole lot of that.
In that video, he thought, and he mentioned some COVID facts I can't mention here because we're doing this primarily on YouTube, and it's not party speak, so they will kick us off for a week, so I'm not going to do it. But he mentions his distaste for the mandates, and he gives some pretty logical reasons as to why.
And he does comparison between red and blue states.
Yes, he does. So
with his commentary,
he is saying just enough to keep the likes of Ben Shapiro and perhaps Dave Rubin. And I remember people on the right were thrilled with Michael Moore when he said, "Yeah, Trump could win because you're crapping on people."
And
that guy's a piece of.
Not that I am a fan of Ann Coulter by any means, but I do remember prior to President Trump winning the election, Ann Coulter went on the Bill Maher show and was ridiculed by everybody.
She had Joy Reid smirking.
To include Bill Maher.
Yeah.
She was getting crucified when she said Trump's going to win, and it was just a pile-on session of degrading her.
And to her credit, she took it to a degree and let them have their laugh because she knew she was going to be right.
But I just as to why Bill Maher is being this different Bill Maher, I don't know.
Let us know what you think in the comment section. Unless you have anything else, we're going to call this one.
I do believe Jordan Peterson could be a little bit of an X factor in the wondering of this.
Well, you know what? I don't know that Bill Maher would ever be honest enough to say that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're right.
Because I think he is a liar. I
think there is within him this inability to admit.
Well, that's a national crisis right now. This inability to say, "Hey, I got duped. I was wrong," so on and so forth. And I could go into the Covey thing.
No one
but I
wants to
won't.
admit when they were wrong.
Yeah, but you know what? It's very good for your soul. It makes you a better person to say, hey, I screwed up, I was wrong, I'm rethinking it. I'm not bashing anybody who comes out and says that. But as I like to say, or we like to say on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable as we wrap this up, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.